Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're jumping right into a seriously unique career blueprint. We're tracing the architecture of Roman Eidenzon. Now, this is an individual who completely redefines the term full stack. We're talking about the ultimate builder, someone whose engineering mindset just seems to operate on an entirely different frequency. So think about this for a second. What actually happens when you combine a highly sophisticated, deep-stack software architect with a gritty, bare-knuckle mechanical engineer? Well, it's an explosive combination. You get a relentless force multiplier. You get systems that are built for extreme durability, both up in the cloud and right here in the physical world.
Okay, let's dive into this. Part 1, the foundation of a relentless builder. To really understand the incredibly complex systems Roman orchestrates today, we have to look at his baseline. Throughout his entire career, his defining philosophy, his core motif, is being good and reliable. And that mindset started early, and it started very physically. During his chemical engineering co-op at the University of Waterloo, he wasn't just sitting behind a desk. No, he was physically scaling 250-foot distillation columns to measure density using radioactive sources. It instantly established this massive, high-stakes baseline for his work right out of the gate.
And that physical reliability translates directly into his code. Back in 2010, while he was working as a server at St. George Banquet Hall, he noticed their scheduling was just a chaotic paper mess. So, with literally zero prior commercial software experience, he taught himself MySQL, PHP, and jQuery and built them a custom online scheduling web app from scratch for $1,500. It completely automated their workflow. But here's the critical takeaway. That software ran completely untouched without a single update or support ticket from him for 10 years. 10 years. That is the ultimate proof of a reliable build. That raw efficiency scaled up fast into commercial software. As the founding engineer at a real estate tech company called DealTap, he was basically handed a prototype made of 4.5 million lines of copy-pasted, unmanageable slop. So Roman orchestrated this massive refactoring operation. Because the modern frameworks of the time just weren't quite ready for what they needed, he actually spearheaded a custom framework internally dubbed Roman.js. He and his team successfully rebuilt the entire platform V2 in under 150,000 lines of code. It's just an absolute masterclass in efficiency.
Moving on to part 2, the MedNow one-man army.
This brings us to a massive evolutionary leap in his career, which was his time at MedNow, a digital pharmacy and telehealth platform. He initially designed the system and delegated the work to a team of about 12 front-end and mobile developers. But, as funding dried up over the years, the team shrank. Instead of letting the platform collapse, Roman just evolved into a solo force multiplier. He learned Flutter for the mobile app, optimized the React services, and maintained the entire Golang API and Postgres database infrastructure himself. He took an engineering team of 12 down to just 1 himself, all while maintaining a flawless digital pharmacy platform that was serving 50,000 users with sub-100 millisecond latency. Now, the really crucial point here is how he engineered it to be so incredibly resilient. One of his brilliant architectural decisions was the implementation of co-located WebSocket pods. By placing WebSocket servers directly inside the core API pods, he effectively eliminated massive database connection pool overhead. That's the exact bottleneck that typically crashes systems under heavy load. This brilliantly solved severe cloud quota issues, all while delivering instant state synchronization for real-time telehealth chats. It's just pure, optimized, bare metal thinking applied straight to the cloud.
And this brilliantly illustrates his mindset. He also integrated a plant UML architecture as code setup. Now, this wasn't some static wiki page. This system dynamically rendered visual system topologies and database diagrams directly inside active runtime endpoints. The architecture literally documented itself in real time, meaning the developer experience was never, ever bogged down by outdated static documentation.
All right, part 3, orchestrating AI at Handshake. Over at Handshake, he was managing highly complex AI voice agents. And if you know this space, you know these are incredibly difficult to engineer due to real-time conversational latency and highly nuanced audio data. He was brought in to automate a manual updating process that used to take hours. He engineered an automated control loop that honestly reads like an action movie briefing in its precision. Step 1. The director invokes an executor to generate candidate deltas, or basically agent versions. Step 2. It automatically writes simulation specs based strictly on the user's requirements. Step 3. It executes full simulations using dedicated reporters to validate behavioral safety. And finally, Step 4.
A decider agent audits the results and publishes the update in real time. So what used to be hours of manual, tedious tuning was reduced to a highly durable, observable 5-minute automated AI cycle. Let's pivot to part 4, the cheese industry's sandbox.
Roman also operates a holding company for side projects called Cheese Industries. And honestly, looking at these projects is like flipping rapidly through a genius's sketchbook. Take NERC, for example. Most developers, they just download TensorFlow and call it a day, right? But to truly understand AI under the hood, Roman built a neural network framework entirely from scratch in pure Go. No libraries. He coded the custom layer logic, the forward propagation, and all the backward propagation math himself. And it wasn't just a toy either. It actually achieved 98.5% accuracy on the MSINT dataset using only 18,000 weights. It just proves this incredibly deep, low-level mathematical understanding of machine learning. Then you've got Emma, which perfectly illustrates his fast prototyping skills using modern tools. Built with a Next.js front-end and hosted on Vercel, Emma takes a user's typed personal memoir, uses LLMs to convert it into tailored resumes for specific jobs, and get this, generates an embeddable chat widget that actually mimics the user's specific voice. And for true enterprise-grade edge reliability, he built Kiosk. This was deployed locally on Android tablets for a health department. It's a PII safe assessment platform that tackles arguably the hardest problem in mobile edge computing, network disconnects. He engineered an audit provider context that locally buffers session data during offline periods and then seamlessly syncs it right back up to the AWS cloud once connectivity is restored, ensuring absolutely zero data is lost. Which brings us to our final section, part 5, offline feats of engineering. To fully grasp his relentless mindset, we absolutely have to step away from the keyboard and look at the physical world. As a licensed commercial pilot, he suffered a terrifying engine failure due to fuel starvation. With exactly 2 minutes of altitude, he executed a flawless emergency landing in a farmer's field with zero damage to the plane or property. When his 1982 Honda motorcycle engine seized up due to lack of oil, he wheeled the entire thing into his living room and spent 2 weeks tearing down every single bolt and gear just to understand the exact point of failure. And when he bought a rusted-out 2011 Ford Ranger, he spent 2 months teaching himself to weld, restoring the body, chassis, and suspension completely by hand. But man, perhaps the ultimate testament to his sheer grit is his property in Cambridge. His house was originally built in 1850, and he set out to replace a totally decrepit barn with a new garage. Well, the contractor he hired abandoned the project and ran off with the funds. Most people would fold. Roman didn't fold. He took over as his own contractor, literally learned the trades necessary to finish the job himself, and then pursued the original contractor in court, winning a $200,000 litigation by default. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is what happened when he actually finished that garage. He didn't just put up standard drywall. No, he hand-built massive 10-foot exterior barn doors. He even engineered and built a custom solar kiln on the property for the sole purpose of drying the old barn's reclaimed wood. He then milled that wood himself and used it for the loft flooring and the interior trim. It's literally system architecture applied to lumber and sunlight. Which brings us right back full circle. Roman describes himself with one simple, powerful sentence: I am a builder inside and out. Whether he's refactoring millions of lines of code, orchestrating an automated AI control loop, landing a plane without a working engine, or building a custom solar kiln, the motif remains exactly the same. He is a one-man army. He is good, and he is extremely reliable. The architecture is proven. The grit is completely undeniable. So the only real question left is this: what complex system will you challenge this builder with next? Let that sit with you. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you on the next one.